Good day everyone. This is news report by Nibiru alert channel about space news and Nibiru, aka Planet X, conspiracy theories on November 4, 2017. The end of days, Planet X and beyond. These reading was compiled by David Mead. Is there a conspiracy of secret societies that intend to control the destiny of the world? Are we in a short pause between the end of the church age and the beginning of the day of the Lord? How does Planet X fit into this? Does North Korea have hidden plans which have been uncovered? What are they and what are they targeting? In this startling book, David Mead explains that his webmaster's account was hacked, and likely by agents of an enemy regime. He further explains why, what their ultimate intent is and what their plans for the United States involve. Divided into 4 sections, this book first covers the deep secrets of the universe, including the New World Order and the deep mysteries of space. In the next section, EMP survival is covered. This is the most important type of event that people need to currently prepare for. Since an EMP event can occur by an act of war by a hostile nation, or by means of massive solar flares sending a coronal mass ejection to our planet. Section 3 is a discussion of the importance of preparation in survival. Prepping for survival doesn't cost, it pays. I cover volcanic eruptions, tsunamis and earthquakes, as well as emergency food and water survival scenarios. What will it take to escape from or survive a volcanic explosion, a tsunami or a major earthquake? Section 4 is a review of the literature on Planet X for those who are not familiar with it. It is in an appendix and is optional reading for those who know about it. If you're ready for a breathtaking glimpse into the other side, this book reads like a page-turner. It can guide, protect and educate you like no other current book on the market. If you are seeking knowledge, this book is for you. If you have an open mind and an open heart, it's for you. It reads like a thriller. People love a mystery, and that is the reason why they love my books. This book in particular tells you everything in one volume. It is an all-in-one guide to the end of days. Various news sources often distort my articles, which can be found on the planetxnews.com site. But I will post below part of an article that briefs you on what I believe are the bookends of the date of the 7-year tribulation period. Everything happens within that period. But since the book of Revelation is not written in linear sequence, we can't say what will happen a certain week, a month or a certain place. There's a bit of mystery involved. What will happen on the 23rd is a magnificent sign in the skies over Jerusalem, a historical event signaling an upcoming tribulation period of 7 years. I don't know when the rapture will happen. I expect nothing to happen in September. It's not sensational, just realistic. I have my best reporting from British tabloids, the BBC, Russian TV, the Andrew Carrington Hitchcock show and so forth. The rest of the news aggregators who pick up the stories often distort them for sensationalism, I think. President Trump calls them fake news, right on. So don't give much credence unless it comes direct from my site and my book. It's the story of the century, but very few people report it correctly. A note on common sense. I've previously mentioned that September is the sign month, and the actual events on Earth will transpire at a later time. Now if you buy my book, you'll notice I have a section on spiritual preparedness. That's the main message I'm delivering. And with me are hundreds of other YouTube people, Scotty Clark, Barry Scarborough, Pastor Paul Begley and literally hundreds of others. We're all watching for the September 23rd sign because we know it means the end of the church age. That is a spiritual sign only. But it is huge. Jesus said when the end of days approached, we need to watch and pray. That's really all he said, and that's what we need to do. We need to have a clear conscience and peace with God. Jesus did not provide additional instructions, except to occupy until the end. This means use common sense, don't do anything crazy like selling your house. You know, street. Augustine was once asked what he would do if he knew Jesus was going to return in the next week. Now that was centuries ago. He responded he would plant another row of peas. He was a cool customer. We need to be cool customers, too. We need to do likewise. We need to look up as our redemption draws nigh. What amazes me is that, you know, Christian churches and Messianic Jewish congregations have been speaking of the book of Revelation for decades upon decades and saying basically the same thing that I do. It may be imminent, sure. But what further amazes me are the emails I get asking me strange questions that have nothing to do with what I have written about. Pastor Paul Begley and I are like itinerant preachers. We live paycheck to paycheck. Neither one of us has said the world is going to end. It's going on forever. But these billion-dollar major media groups that write about us distort what we have said. In fact, right after the tribulation is the millennium, a wonderful 1,000-year period of peace. They write and distort what we say to sell papers. They have to resort to sensationalism to do it. Therein lies the problem with the major media sources and their crazy headlines. Before we proceed, let's summarize some important points. 1. Nothing is expected to happen in September. 2. It is possible at the end of October we may be about to enter into the 7-year tribulation period, to be followed by a millennium of peace. 3. When onward, Revelation chapter 8, is on close approach to the earth sometime during the tribulation, you'll have solar flares and a possible loss of the electrical grid for weeks, maybe longer. 4. However, that's the main risk I see right now, because as I've stated in my book, right after the initial solar flare risk I see the rapture of the true church. 5. Pretty cool, we're all gone. Now if your belief system is not the Bible, let's say your belief system is UFOs or whatever, then my statements will not make any sense to you. Listen, I was raised a Catholic and all Catholics believed the Bible. We were taught the book of Revelation is true. The popes believe it is true. Protestants know it is true. It is taught in Sunday school. This is not new information, actually it's the Bible 101. Even Hollywood knows what is to come. They have produced a dozen end-of-days movies, such as 2012. This is not new news to anyone who thinks it is. My question is, how long have you lived on this planet? What amazes me is that this new generation does not engage in critical thinking. The last generation, that fought and won World War II, they were brilliant and critical thinkers. This generation has been dumbed down by TV, commercials, sports and so forth. They don't read. They don't understand anything. Very sad, really. Planet X and the year of the arrival, this threat has been hidden from us in plain sight. When the birth of Jupiter from Virgo occurs, we also see the fulfillment of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15 and Revelation chapter 12 verse 4 when great and fearful signs in the heavens are given. This birthing occurs according to the latest astronomical data available on October 15, 2017. This is when the king planet, Jupiter, crosses the womb region of Virgo. This is the day of the onset of the 7-year day of the Lord, or tribulation. If we use astronomical calculations and the book of Revelation only, and no extra biblical source such as visions, this takes us to the most important date of this century and millennium, October 15th, this year of 2017. The American eclipse of August 21, 2017 is the time marker, a 40-day countdown, the sign of Jonah, to the beginning of the month of October. October is the month to watch. The major signs that converge on September the 23rd are indeed amazing, but those are celestial events. They are time markers. The mainstream media states that something visible will occur on these dates. I don't believe that. The actual event of the beginning of the tribulation occurs on October 15th. That's when the action starts. Hold on and watch, wait until the middle of October and I don't believe you'll be disappointed. Revelation is progressive. My book Planet X, the 2017 arrival, has the detail. You don't have long to read it. What you don't know won't hurt you, it will kill you. Written on a general's sign on his Pentagon office desk. Let's look at the following link. This is a report by professional astronomers at an observatory in northern Chile, which contains the Atacama Large Millimeter, Submillimeter Array, ALMA, the largest single telescope in the world, located at an altitude of 5,000 meters. It describes their conclusions, that the Planet X object, which they have named GNA, is located 12 to 25 astronomical units from the Earth and is approximately 880 kilometers in diameter. It is being pulled into our Sun's orbit due to its huge gravitational mass and pull. Click on the link to read the report. This is one of the few publicly available reports that is published due to the multinational reach of the Chilean observatory. Chilean astronomers verify Planet X system approaching. During a recent media interview with Marshall Masters, he told me that two other very prominent researchers had also pinpointed the fall of 2017 as the arrival time of Planet X. One is Major Ed Dames, the former head of the Remote Viewing Project, a joint venture between the Pentagon and CIA. The second is the renowned and well-connected Bob Dean, a former group of good old boys, whose network of insiders closely followed the initial discovery of Planet X in the 1980s. Bob supposedly reported that when he asked one of them, "Did our infrared equipment detect Planet X?" that they retorted, "Not just yes, but hell yes." Planet X, the 2017 arrival by David Mead. I find these dates very strange and confirming as well. From these individual years to 2017 are all highly meaningful, and correlate. Theodor Herzl was the founder of political Zionism. After publishing his utopian pamphlet, The Jewish State, in 1896, in 1897 he convened the First Zionist Congress. From 1897 to 2017 is 120 years, the exact length of warning God gave Noah. Then of course, Jesus said the end of days would be exactly like those days. Then in 1917 a Balfour Declaration was issued in the form of a letter from the British Foreign Secretary, Lord Arthur James Balfour, to Lord Rothschild, regarding the establishment of Israel. Exactly 100 years later is 2017. In 1947 the United Nations decreed by mandate the re-establishment of Israel as a state. It was of course recognized 1 year later. 70 years, the length of a Bible generation, is the length of time from 1947 to 2017. Finally in 1967 the Israelis recaptured Jerusalem. This is exactly 50 years, the length of a Jubilee cycle, from 2017. These amazing coincidences are well beyond the realm of chance. The Planet X Nemesis system has just revealed itself, and in fact the time of its appearing. All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. Galileo Galilei. Nibiru Alert. Thank you very much for watching. Nibiru Alert, the comprehensive up-to-date YouTube channel about Nibiru, alias Planet X.